Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to my icy world where the temperature reaches minus 70 degrees Celsius. It's cold here, very cold. It took me 100 days to survive in the permafrost, spending Christmas in a world where there is only snow. I'm going to build the biggest Christmas house and the world's biggest Christmas tree with toys. But first, I need to survive the global freeze because I added a mod for temperature. If my body temperature drops to the limit, I will die. If I don't drink purified water, I'll die. I'll need to make warm fur clothes that won't let me freeze constantly, put up fires to warm up, and even make a sauna. I'll ride Santa's sleigh and make his armor, kill the visor in the bowels of hell for the Christmas star, and go to the world of the land to fight and defeat the Ender Dragon, and also to find New Year's elites. So of the 100 days of complete hardcore, sit back and enjoy watching everyone. Day 1, so first day, will be an introductory day for me, so I am immune to the cold for the whole day. From the morning of the second day, I'll have a thirst indicator and a temperature indicator. So I need to hurry to make myself a shelter in which I can warm myself and get water in some way so that I do not die of thirst. I spawned near an abandoned village and immediately started cutting down a tree. I get some stone to make stone tools and go to the village. I want to see what is there. Maybe I can find something valuable or useful that will help me not to freeze in the cold. I noticed that all the houses in the village were overgrown with cobwebs. Maybe I could make woolen armor out of it and warm up in the cold, as well as make a bed. I began to collect all the cobwebs that hung on the houses. This is a real gift for me. I found a potato farm that for some reason did not freeze, but I feel better, not a bad start. I already have some wool and food. All I have to do is find shelter for the first few days and light a fire to warm myself near it. I found the librarian's house and took the books he didn't need anymore. Later I will make myself an enchantment and also killed a sheep. I think I can stay in this village for a few days now. I can't move around the world as I will freeze very quickly. I will have to make a shelter here and wait until I can make woolen armor and some fires, as well as a sleigh for driving in the snow. I found that there is a bandit base not far from the village, but I'm not ready to go to them yet. I'll leave it for the future. Maybe I can get a couple of immortality totems there. They would definitely be useful to me. I started to extract wood from the old houses of the villagers. I need to make charcoal to create a fire and torches, as well as to fry food. I dug up more potatoes and returned home. See what the doors look like in the New Year's style. It gives a Christmas mood. I started making charcoal and made my first fire. I will put it in the house so that it is warm here. And I will also make 2 chests to put all my things. By the way, the chests are also changed. They look like New Year's gifts. It is very beautiful. I make even more charcoal and go to the cave. It would have hurt me to find iron and coal. After all, it's night and I don't have much time left before I start to freeze and want to drink. After frying potatoes and making a few stairs to go down to the cave, I start digging. I don't have much time. I need to hurry. I hope I get lucky and find something. I started digging deeper. I was digging in turbo mode and managed to break my pickaxe, made 2 more and kept digging until morning came. Even being in the caves, I would freeze because the whole world is a continuous winter. I did everything in my power and was able to find someone. I am very lucky because in the first days of survival in the frosty world, every wrong action can lead to death. You need to be very careful, so I took a fire with me just in case. In general, I spent the whole night digging a cave, but then I realized that the morning came. I had 2 new indicators, an indicator of water and body temperature. I need to go home and make sure that these indicators are normal. From that day on, my survival changes radically and becomes several times more difficult. I made a shield and went outside. The sun had already risen, and all the monsters began to burn, by the way. Now all the monsters are wearing cute New Year's sweaters. A skeleton has climbed into my house, and I will have to kick it out of my shelter, since the zombies and the skeleton are burned in the sun. And it will not be difficult to kill them. I have a new problem. I started to freeze. My leather armor is not enough. To warm up, I thought that the stove would be able to warm me, but unfortunately it also does not give enough heat. So I put a fire and decided to stand near it until I warm up. In order not to freeze, I need to make clothes from wool. It will allow me to move in the snow and not get frostbite. It will completely remove the problem of cold, but it has little durability and armor. I will have to constantly get wool for it as well as be careful. Since the monsters will be able to easily kill me. I also noticed that my thirst level dropped, which means that I need to start purifying water for drinking. I need to make a water purifier in which I can purify ordinary water, as it can be poisoned. I went to the frozen lake near my house to get some sand and make bottles in which I could collect water and then clean it and drink it. I took a fire with me, and for good reason. By the time I got to the lake, I started to freeze, and if there was no fire, Most likely I would have just frozen right next to this lake and become another block of ice. That I say, I made several bottles and filled them with water from the lake, after which I quickly ran home so as not to freeze. Now I have to run from fire to fire, so I urgently need to make woolen armor. After warming up by the fire, I found an interesting discovery. Iron rods have been replaced with garlands. They will be useful to me in the future to decorate my house, and in the meantime I will make a sleigh. They will allow me to move quickly in the snow, and I want to say that this is the best thing I've crafted from wood. They are simply irreplaceable, especially at the beginning of survival. It seems that they will make my life much easier. All day I did my work in the house, heated on a sleigh and melted everything down. And at night I went out to get some wood, since I didn't have a single block left. My second day of survival has come to an end, but just look at the beautiful northern lights right now over my house. This world is simply beautiful. Comets fly by in the sky and stars fall. The constellations, together with the moon, illuminate the snow lying on the ground and show the way. What beauty! Where else would I see it if not in a world of snow? Before going to bed, I threw wood into the stove to get charcoal and warm myself near the fire to purify the water you need to put bottles of water and charcoal in the purifier. I decided to make more bottles of purified water as I thought it worked the same way as with the stove and wasted 1 charcoal for 8 bottles of water. So you need to fill all the bottles with water. I got on the sleigh and drove straight to the frozen lake to fill all my empty bottles with water. It's very cold outside and there are a lot of monsters around, so I need to quickly get water and return home so as not to get hurt. I got on the sleigh and drove home. I started to freeze a little, but now I will have a lot of purified water. I am very worried that I will not get home and will freeze. The sleigh goes downhill very slowly and my body temperature drops rapidly. I may have big problems. I urgently need to go to the fire. I barely managed to get home. My movement was slow and I almost froze to the ground. But still I got to the fire and began to warm up, at the same time making purified water. Before going to bed I decided to drink water, eat fried potatoes and warm up. Now I can go to bed. Good night, friends. The next morning I left the house and after fighting off the zombies, I realized that I needed to change something. I wanted to collect enough thread and wool to make myself an insulated armor. Then I would be able to move around the world almost freely. There would be one problem, and that was the monsters, who would still be able to kill me easily. Now, I will collect absolutely all the cobwebs that are in this settlement. This should be enough for me. I will have to get some cobwebs, craft things, and heat myself by the fire, and then go again to get cobwebs, because so far I cannot stay outside for a long time, due to the threat of frostbite. I got enough cobwebs for almost a full set of woolen clothes. So I'm going home. I need to warm up a little. In 2 passes I'll manage and the freezing will be over. I've returned home, crafted things and go on to mine the web. I found a deposit of coal. So I decided not to miss it and quickly extract all the coal. The fuel will be useful to me. I completely clean all the houses from cobwebs, collect all the threads. It turned out to be quite a lot of them. At the moment I even got carried away and collected more than necessary. But it will not be superfluous. I crafted a bib and a full set of wool armor is ready. Now I can finally go to explore the world and move away from my fire. Now the world is open to me and I can just go outside, get some air, look at the snowy hills without fear of freezing to death because now I have wonderful fur armor. I got on my sleigh and went to collect everything I could get my hands on. I collected a sugar cane because it will be useful to me in the future to create books and sugar. I also found a frozen lake, in which there was a small piece of water in which there was a lot of coal, and I decided to mine it. Now all resources are very important. Soon I have a long journey, so I have to prepare for it. While I was extracting all the coal from the lake, evening slowly came, and I saw the beauty of this winter world for the first time at night, because before that I did not have time to admire all the beauty of this world. I was in a hurry to get home as quickly as possible so as not to freeze. But now I look directly at this beautiful northern lights and I cannot take my eyes off it. It's a pity that I have to go home because soon there will be a lot of monsters, but I'm sure I'll have time to see this beauty. I'll definitely find time for it. And now it's time for me to go home. On the way I found pumpkins and decided to take with me. I think they will be useful to me. Maybe I will create a golem or make a pumpkin pie. Or maybe I will make a snowman. In general, I think I definitely need them when I return home. I made garlands out of 6 iron ingots and decided to decorate my house with them. It looks very beautiful. I think in the future when I get more iron I will make them bigger and decorate everything around with them. On the morning of the 4th day I finally gathered my strength and found my sleigh. I decided to go on a journey in search of a Santa village. This village contains a villager who sells things to Santa Claus, but this village is incredibly rare and finding it is a very big problem. Especially in my icy world, I traveled around the world on a sleigh for several days. I just can't imagine how long I would have had to walk if the sleigh just wasn't there. I drove through a beautiful coniferous forest, all decorated with Christmas toys, huge ice mountains and lakes, but I still had a long way to go. I hope that by the evening I will be able to find shelter because if a snowstorm starts and a lot of monsters spawn, it will be very difficult for me to survive. I know that nothing depends on me, and if I find a village, I will be very lucky. But I still hope for my luck and want to find Santa Claus's village as soon as possible. Thank goodness, I finally found the village. I drove a third of the night, and I already thought that I'd definitely not find anything until morning. But I was lucky, and I came to my first village. It turned out to be a winter village, but unfortunately not a Santa Claus village. But even so, I am glad, because I have a shelter for the night. It is very beautiful and cute here, and also I can replenish my supply of resources before I go further in search of the village I need. I quickly take everything I need, and also I will spend the night here so as not to go at night, since there are really a lot of monsters and they can break my sleigh and kill me. By the next night I found another village, this time a very ordinary one, with standard inhabitants, without any privileges, but I still decided to stay here for the night and collect some more resources. By the way, I am still not sure about the existence of Santa Claus Village. I'm already so tired on the road that I just can't believe that I can find it. Stay guys, it seems that I have found exactly what I was looking for. Look, this merchant sells New Year's treats, and if I can level him up high enough, then he will sell me Santa Claus armor. I need to get more of these candies and I will do it the next night. I know that white candies fall from zombies and skeletons with a 20% chance, and red candies from spiders also have a 25% chance. It turns out that I will have to kill a whole bunch of mobs in order to get armor. In the beginning everything went well and I killed monsters in small groups of 2 to 4 monsters, but since I was right on the plain and all the monsters from the area came to me, then over time they surrounded me and began to beat me in turn. Everything would be fine, but my armor, as you remember, has little durability and soon it will all break, which means I'm going to have a new problem. It's the cold. I have to be careful, otherwise I risk dying right in the middle of this plain. I made a fire to scare away the monsters, restored some HP and went to the lake to drink at least some water, because without it my HP does not recover anymore. Replenishing all my supplies and restoring HPI began to continue to beat mobs and knock out. Since I was not very ready for this night, I farmed relatively few candies. But on the other hand, I gained invaluable experience and now I know how to do it more effectively. I returned to the village and began to pump my resident so that he would move to a new level and start selling new items. By the way, you can buy a gift from him to make more New Year's villagers. I spent absolutely all the candies to level up my villager and bought a few gifts from him. I think soon he will start selling Santa Claus armor. And now I decided to put gifts in the house and wait for the appearance of new Santa villagers. I wondered if they were different in some way or they were all the same. After that, I decided to collect the hay that was lying under the snow near the villager's house. I'll be able to make my own bread and I'll have more food, and after night falls I'll go kill monsters and knock out candy. And so on until I buy myself Santa's armor. I took all the Christmas cakes that I bought from the New Year's villager and waited until night to continue collecting candies. I still need a lot of candy. After being attacked by baby zombies, some parts of my armor broke and I had to immediately look for sheep to make my armor. Otherwise I would just die of cold. It's a good thing I left my campfire here a couple of days ago, and it allowed me to survive for a while until I found enough wool for armor. I had some wool with me, and I immediately made part of the armor, but it was not enough for a full set and I had to stand by the fire and look for sheep on the horizon because I could not leave the fire for a long time. Ciao? Any more nado? It took me a third of the night, and while I was getting wool, I also fought off monsters and even managed to knock out a couple of candies. I went back to the village and I really had a lot of candy, but I didn't even expect that Santa's armor would be so expensive. I had enough candy just to level up a villager and buy a Santa hat and Santa boots. I will have to spend a couple more days fighting mobs to buy a full set, but although it is not easier to get than netherite. Or maybe it's more difficult because netherite can just be dug up in hell. In terms of armor, Santa's armor is equal or even slightly better than netherite. So the issue with armor will be closed for me. Although there is a problem, and it is that this armor does not warm me in the cold. There is a way out, but it is quite difficult. I will have to enchant my chest at level 30 and get an enchantment that will keep the body temperature stable. By the way, this will come in handy for me. Because it's very hot in hell and I can burn there. So I have to enchant my chest piece for this enchantment in order to complete the entire Minecraft as a whole. I have a lot of white candies. So you only need to get red ones, and they fall from spiders, so right now I will have to go kill as many spiders as possible and hope that they will drop a lot of candy. Yeah, I want to try on Santa Claus things as soon as possible. With the onset of night, I immediately began to kill spiders. I ignored the other mobs and only hit the spiders. There were quite a few of them, so I was very inspired, and all night I killed them. I managed to be attacked by phantoms, but I quickly coped with them. I replenished the water supply by the lake and fought until the morning. The night turned out to be very difficult, because the constant snowfall, which did not stop by the morning, constantly covered me with snow, and it was difficult to see anything, which made it difficult to find spiders. By morning, I returned to my village and finally I am ready to buy Santa's armor. I hope the candies I got are enough for me. Let's hurry to the villager. Let's see what we can buy from him with these candies. In the meantime, with cozy Christmas music, look at how beautiful the village looks during the snowfall. It's just beautiful. I love winter. Okay, friends, this is all very nice, but we need to buy ourselves Christmas things. So let's go quickly to the villager and buy everything we have enough candy from him. I'll get some water along the way, because I drank everything I had in my flask overnight. And yet, friends, I finally packed a full set of Santa Claus clothes. You just can't imagine how happy I am. Look how cool it looks, but then, until I find the right enchantment, I won't be able to wear them outside. I'm just going to freeze in them. I'll have to take them off for now, until the freeze enchantment appears, and now I'm using the remaining candies to make New Year's cans and I can craft tools and weapons from them. I realize that I still don't have enough red candies. So I'll have to spend another night in endless fights with spiders. I made myself a sword that does as much as 12 damage, as well as a pickaxe that is as tough as netherite. It's really a New Year's miracle. I decided to check this pickaxe a little, and it turned out that it has more than 2,000 durability and even digs faster than a diamond one. Cool. And now I need to get some water, so that I can safely gouge out spider eyes all night and not think about it. I filled all the bottles with water, as well as my leather flask, and took a lot of fires with me, and then I spent the night killing spiders to make all the tools I could out of Christmas candy. Finally, the night is over and I can go home. I didn't get a lot of candy, but it should be enough for me, at least for all the tools I need. And I will also need to replenish my wool because I don't have enough of it, and my armor has already started to break. I have a lot of plans, and without armor, I won't be able to complete them. I decided to wallow a little by the fire because without wool armor, I was very cold and I could even die, since I took 4 fires with me and they saved my life. Now I need to quickly craft all the tools and proceed to the next task. I plan to bring sheep and make a farm, although I will have to do everything gradually, because now I'm freezing in the cold and can only go outside for a while. It's going to be difficult, but there's no way out. After warming up by the fire, I decided to make at least boots out of wool. But this will only increase the time I spend outside and not protect me from the cold. I need a full set of woolen armor so that I can survive outside. I warmed up in the house, ate and drank water, anyway, and then decided to make myself tools from candy. They will be very useful to me now. Now I need to chop wood to make a sheep pen, where I will breed them, make a fence out of wood and start making a pen. I came home and crafted a fence and started to remove excess soil to build a pen for my sheep in this place. I need a small pen, so I build right next to the house. I will bring 2 sheep here and breed them and then just cut their wool, and so I will constantly have something to make clothes. I brought 1 sheep and was very cold, so I had to return home, warm up a little and eat to go looking for sheep again. By the way, I think that soon it will be time to build a new house because I don't really want to live forever in the village and there is very little space here, so now I will quickly bring the sheep home, collect wool, get resources, and I can start. Now I need to clean up a little bit of dirt so that the monsters don't get into the pen. Now set up a situation where the creeper crawls into the cage to my sheep and hides there, and then explodes when I approach. I decided to play it safe. After everything is ready, I just have to wait. I have no other choice. I've been digging a cave all this time since I freeze there not so quickly, and along the way I climbed out to mate sheep, so I managed to get a lot of resources in the cave and breed sheep. Now I can safely live on and not worry about wool until the end of the video. Well friends, look how many sheep we have now. A whole bunch of them. Let's make clothes out of wool and we can finally go to my first house. I plan to take all my things that I left there, as I did not plan to stay in the new village for a long time. But now I want to build a house near a new village, and also I need to attack the bandit base, and I really hope to knock out the totem of immortality. While I was driving, I fell into the canyon, quickly fought off the monsters, took all the valuable resources, and continue my way further. I've already been on the road for a very long time, and I want to return home as soon as possible and start building my winter mansion. While I was driving slowly, night began to approach, and I stopped at the village that I met on my way. Took the bookshelves from there, searched all the houses, but did not find anything interesting, so I drove on. I decided not to skip the night, but to immediately set off so as not to waste time. And by morning, I finally reached my first home. I quickly collected all my garlands, took everything of value from the chests, although there was nothing particularly valuable there, so I probably could not go here. But in any case, I need the totems of immortality, so if I get them here, then my journey will not be in vain. I decided to go to the bandit base, but I realized that I did not take my shield with me, and without it, I can die very quickly. Because my armor made of wool is very weak due to the fact that without it I can freeze. I cannot put on another one. So I made a shield and went to attack the bandits, and saw that they had many golems and other mobs in captivity. I decided to free them and at the same time get some wool that covered all the robbers' houses. After killing a few bandits, I realized that I was not making a shield in vain, because I would most likely already be dead. For some reason the golems decided not to help me, so I had to kill all the bandits myself and collect their resources. I stayed there until nightfall. Because by the time I killed the bandits and collected more wool, it was already night. I've met a few summoners and knocked out as many as 4 immortality totems. I have never seen so many summoners, but I was only glad of it, because now I have 4 totems and they will be very useful to me. While I was fighting, I almost died, because all my armor broke and I almost froze. Fortunately, there was my old fire in the house, and I managed to run to it. I made new armor and went to bed. I've ridden enough on the ice of the frozen river and drifted like a Vin Diesel on my steep sleigh and decided to return home. Now there's a new task ahead of me. I need to collect a whole giant pile of resources so that they would be enough for me for a house and a giant Christmas tree. Thanks to the icy river, I got home pretty quickly. Put the iron, smelted down, and began to lay out all the things that I brought from the old house until I decided to put another chest in the cart on the rails and put the rest of the things there since there is no room in the house. I make myself several sets of woolen armor. I will take it with me so that if mine breaks, I can put on a new one right away. Now I'm going to mine resources. I need a lot of wood, stone, and glass. The rest I'll mine as needed. In general, I think that no matter how I comment, in any case, I will not be able to make the extraction of wood interesting. So let me leave you alone with the New Year's music and the beautiful winter sky. To start off with, while I was mining wood and you were looking at the beautiful northern lights. It's morning and I'm coming home to make a special warehouse for the resources that I'll spend on building a house. I've mined a mega lot of wood, and I hope that it will be enough for me to completely build my house. Estimate married. Hardly enough for a Christmas tree, but it's still a long way off, so then I'll chop some more. I went to look for a birch. I also need it for the house. On the way I found a cherry tree. I got a little bit of it and saw a forest of birches. I went there and started to cut a lot of wood. I cut all day and all night, but the tree came out a little less than last night, probably because there were fewer trees and they're not so big. In the morning, I put everything in the trunk. While I was mining wood, and you were looking at the beautiful northern lights. It's morning, and I'm coming home to make a special warehouse for the resources that I'll spend on building a house. I've mined a mega lot of wood, and I hope that it will be enough for me to completely build my house. Hardly enough for a Christmas tree, but it's still a long way off, so then I'll chop some more. I went to look for a birch I also needed for the house. On the way I found a cherry tree. I got a little bit of it and saw a forest of birches. I went there and started to cut a lot of wood. And I cut all day and all night, but the tree came out a little less than last night. Probably because there were fewer trees and they're not so big. In the morning, I put everything in the trunk. After that, I went to mine a lot of sand, and I will also need to paint it in the future. But this will be in the process of building a house, so now I will not look for dyes. I made a lot of stoves to melt all the glass faster. But first, I need to make charcoal from the wood I mined so that I can make enough charcoal for all the coal. All this took me until the next morning, and finally I gathered almost everything I needed, which means I can start building the house. I have been waiting for this for so long. And now let's start. First we need to clear and level the area so that the house is not on a sparked area. And then just a whole bunch of hours spent on building the most gigantic house in my life, however. This is only Craft Hardcore 100 days, and before these videos I had never built something beautiful and big, and now I am building giant houses on uninhabited islands. Underground kingdoms, and finally a giant winter house. I hope you like my videos. If suddenly you have watched this moment, then please like and subscribe to my channel. I dream of gaining the first 1,000 subscribers, and also write the phrase Glacier Christmas in the comments. So, I will understand that you have watched this moment, and other people will look for this moment while watching and try to understand what it means. Thank you. In the meantime, it already built a small part of the foundation for my house, and even made a staircase by night. My house looked like this, not bad in my opinion, but still far from ideal. After spending a few more hours, I managed to build something like this. It already looks like a house, but trust me, it's not even half of what I need to build. So without further ado, let's keep building. Now I'm building the world's most gigantic roof for a survival house. Seriously, other preppers are building small houses and focusing on action, and I usually need to build something beautiful. I can't do it any other way. How do I live 100 days in the world without a beautiful house? I don't understand. I hope you enjoy watching me suffer for a few days in building a house. I took a short break and decided to equip my first room. I think that soon I will be able to move here. The house turns out to be very cozy and very beautiful. To be honest, I myself did not expect that it would turn out so cool. I ate a couple of candies, and you can continue to build. Let's go. And now I'm finishing one of my favorite places in my house. It's a vat of hot water in which I can take a steam bath after a very cold day at work. How I already want to finish with the house as soon as possible and hang out here for the whole evening. And now it's time to put in windows. This idea didn't come to me right away, and along the way, while I was building this house, I decided to make windows in the form of one big Christmas tree. I don't know if it looks similar, but it still looks good. On the other hand, I decided to make a small panoramic window, which would be made of ordinary glass, so that I could look at the sky and beautiful stars in the evening. Well, in general, this is what I have been able to do so far. It remains to decorate everything inside and light, finish the roof and a few small details, but in general, this is how my house looks now, and it is beautiful. And now let's inspect it completely and finish the construction. And at this point, I almost died from the skeleton that knocked my first totem off me. But I was lucky and had 3 more in reserve, so you don't have to worry about it. While I was running to the village, I decided to decorate it a little and made iron rods that looked like garlands in my assembly and hung them on all the houses of the villagers. Well, now friends, are the last steps of decorating my house. I made many different chests and decided to place them around the house in order to give it a more Christmas style and comfort. I also made a fireplace, hung light bulbs and put garlands throughout the house. My house is 90-80 ready, and it remains only a matter of details. By the way, my next task will be to build a giant, or to be honest, the most gigantic Christmas tree with toys during survival on Minecraft Hardcore. I think that after building a house, I will take a short break and do something else, and then chop enough wood and build a Christmas tree right next to the house. By the way, it will be necessary to make a small Christmas tree in this room. I think it will fit well here under the general picture of light bulbs, fireplace and garlands. If you only knew how much iron I spent on these garlands and how much I was already tired of building it. I even thought about reducing its size by 2 times, but decided not to retreat halfway and finish everything to the end. In any case, everything looks just fine. Look what a cozy fireplace I got. I made a large chimney, and on the 2nd and 3rd floors, 2 fireplaces are connected to it. Somehow, one zombie got into my house. Apparently, he decided to swim in my new sauna. An itinerant merchant came to visit me and offered to buy me some things, but I didn't like anything, so I just left him alone. I placed gifts near my house to give it even more New Year's mood, as well as the last most insignificant nuances that need to be added to my house. And finally, friends, everything is ready. So many days of work, so much effort and time spent on this house. But how beautiful it looks. I just can't get enough of it. The real house of Santa Claus. Well, now let me tell you where it is and give you a little tour of my house. We go up a wonderful staircase and get to the 1st floor. Here we have 3 main rooms. A staircase to the top and a staircase to the basement with a warehouse. There is a workshop where you can process and smelt array, as well as do blacksmithing. There is a guest room in which I will live for the time being. The main hall in which there are several chests, beautiful panoramic windows and a fireplace. Descent to the basement in which there are many fires, chests for storing materials. As well as in the future, there will be an enchantment table. Next, I will show you my favorite room. It has another fireplace, a bunch of garlands and bulbs, as well as a Christmas tree with a golden star on top. In this room, you can celebrate Christmas. Only the table is missing, but I will put it if guests come. Upstairs, I have a sauna where you can take a steam bath, which is what I'm doing now, while my drone shows you the whole house. And in the attic, I have a Santa Claus sleigh in the form of a bed in which you can sleep. Unfortunately, there are no reindeer, so they do not fly. And the coldest room with snow, which has a lot of snowmen, small Christmas trees, and even Christmas cans. Well, I hope you like my house. I tried very hard and put my heart and soul into it, by the way. Look at the beautiful view from the window in my sauna. Put a like if you wanted such a house in real life. Well, this view from the window of my guest room, in which I still live, by the way. Now I will move all my things to my new house and start settling in. I need to finally make a filter to purify water, because all this time I've been drinking ordinary water, which is many times worse than purified water. I've also decided to shear all my sheep to make a couple more costumes out of wool. I'm going to go to the mine and find a lot of resources, so I'm going to spend a lot of time there. So I have to be ready for that. I decided to kill some of the sheep in order to collect some mutton and roast it. I will take it with me to the cave, so I will definitely have enough food. I made this ever-running trolley near my house. It will be another decoration for my Christmas house, and now I need to dig up as much sand as possible and make a lot of bottles, so that my water purification plant works constantly, and there is a lot of water. The plant is almost ready. It remains to put a chest on top in which I will stack bottles of plain water. It will get into the purifier and it will purify all the water, so I will be able to throw up to 20 bubbles of water and leave. And then take it already cleaned, and I will not have to wait for each bottle standing near the purifier. That's it, my plant is fully assembled and starting to work right now. Unfortunately, the coal will have to be put in by hand, but I think if you put it in a stack, then you will not have to change it very often. I decided to smelt my ores and collect more water. so that the purifier would make me many bottles of clean water. Look how much water he has already managed to purify while I was just doing my own thing. It's very cool, and now I'm making myself a few sets of clothes out of wool, collecting more water, and by the way, look at what cauldrons of boiling water I made. Well, now you can go to the cave to get resources. A very beautiful morning greets me. I want to admire the beauties of this world for a while before going into the caves. Well, now it's time to go to work. We still have a lot of things ahead of us. This cave is right next to my house, so I decided to go down into it before I build it, as I plan to flood it with water to make a large ice lake. Digging a mine, I found the city of Varden. I decided to go into it by stealth and take everything I can. I hope that the Varden will not hear me and will not attack. In such armor and without a golem, I simply will not stand a chance against him, so I will have to do everything as quietly and carefully as possible. I took a lot of valuables and decided to go home, lay them out and free up space in my inventory. I quickly laid out all the inventory and decided to enchant my pickaxe for luck 3. I found this book in the dungeon, and it will help me a lot because my main task is to find diamonds, and this way I will get more of them. Now let's check how many diamonds I can dig up with this pickaxe. And so I get 1 to 3 diamonds from each ore. Not bad. I think I'll dig up enough diamonds with my cool new pickaxe. In general, I've managed to mine as many as 35 diamonds at the moment. I will continue to dig the cave. Maybe I can find some more. After fighting off the skeleton, I collect iron and continue to dig the cave. Damn, this skeleton just appeared out of nowhere. My heart almost dropped to my heels. I tried to run away from it, but it hit me in the back and knocked out my second totem of immortality. Now I only have 2 of them left, how frustrating. But thank God I didn't die and my survival is not over. When I got home, I decided to make an enchantment and try to catch the enchantment I needed, so that I could wear normal armor and not freeze, because there are only 2 totems left and there are many skeletons in the world. It would be very stupid to die from an ordinary skeleton and lose such a wonderful survival. I decided to decorate the enchantment with candles and soul lamps that I stole from the dungeon to make this place look more magical and beautiful. And now I'm going to try to enchant things. I was very lucky, and from the first time I enchanted my chest for the coolest enchantments, including thermoregulation. Now I can wear my cool Santa Claus armor, be very protected, and not be afraid that some weak skeleton will kill me. As you can see, I can run in the snow, swim in the icy water, and do absolutely anything. Also, I don't have to make armor out of foliage to go to hell because of the heat. I could burn there. I could only go there in leaf armor, but now I can go there in my Santa armor and not afraid of heat stroke. And now I'm going to build the biggest Christmas tree in the world, but to do that, I need to chop down a tree. Because as I said, all my tree went to build a house, I decided to prepare some more purified water, park all my things and go to the forest by a spruce tree. I'm lucky in enchantments today because I've just enchanted my pants to the coolest enchantments. I'm very satisfied, so now let's start cutting down another spruce forest. Well, I finally got home. I got quite a lot of wood. At least I hope this tree will be enough for me. Well, I can start building a giant spruce tree. I've already chosen the place on which I will build it, but apparently this little zombie decided to occupy it. Well, he will have to move, 'cause this is where I am going to build a Christmas tree. Well, for now, it looks more like some kind of squirrel or dry bush. But now I'm going to make branches and beautiful gifts, and it's going to look like a Christmas tree. Give me a little more time for that. Well, the branches are done and it's a little more like a Christmas tree, but it's not good enough yet. So I guess we need to keep building. Well, friends, we finished the foliage, and the tree is almost ready. All that remains is to decorate it with Christmas toys. I use Christmas chests as balls, iron lamps as garland, and gold blocks as a star on top of the tree. I just can't believe that I was able to make such a big Christmas tree. But now just imagine how difficult it will be to decorate it. Well, now I'm going to get everything ready and start decorating it. I could use some help, but unfortunately I'm alone. But two cute birds flew to my house. Let's start decorating the Christmas tree. I want to finish with it as soon as possible. Well, friends, I finally finished decorating this giant Christmas tree. Just look how beautiful it looks. I don't regret that I spent so much time and effort on it because it complements my home so much and turns everything around into a fairy tale. Well, now I need to carefully get out of here and not die. The altitude here is just unreal. Now I want to enchant my sword and go get gunpowder and ender pearls. I got lucky again. With the enchantment and enchanted the sword for loot 3 and sharpness 4. Apparently Christmas luck is on my side in this video. Everything goes perfectly. I started killing enders and collecting pearls, as well as collecting cow skins to make myself more water flasks. You're the most efficient. One flask holds 3 bottles of water, so I can economize the place. After that, I want to go to Hell and get blaze ones there, kill the Wither boss and get the Hell Star. You can make a very beautiful Christmas star out of it. For the top of my Christmas tree, I decided to enchant the bow because it is impossible to kill bosses in Hell and in the End World. The first bow was not enchanted very much, and the second received the coolest enchantment. I also enchanted my boots, and now I have a full set of armor to protect 4. I decided to make a lot of fireworks to celebrate Christmas and the last night at the end of the video. I pack all my things and make a portal to Hell. I have very little time left. I need to have time to do everything planned. 69 days have passed. Let's sum up the results. We managed to make a wonderful Santa's mansion, a giant Christmas tree, Santa's armor, as well as many other things. It seems that we have time before the Christmas guys. Well, the next days are going to be very hot. I appeared in Hell on a platform, Vosoko above the ground. So I'll take the portal with me and build it later in another place. And now I need to find blazes. I don't plan to make netherite armor, so I won't dig netherite. I only need blazes and a wither boss. I finally found a hell fortress and found some chests. Took all the resources I needed and collected some hell growth, and also finally found a blaze spawner. Thanks to my sword, I will be able to farm more blaze wands quickly. I don't know if the luck for dropping heads. Depends on enchantments on the sword, but from the first skeleton I knocked out the skull of the sword. There's only 2 left to knock out, and I can kill the wither boss. Well, let's put up the skulls and summon the wither boss. I've got a couple of regeneration potions and an immortality totem, so I can easily handle it. Well, the boss is done, and now I can go home. I took obsidian with me, so I'll build a portal right here and return home. After killing the wither skeleton, I built a portal and set it on fire. When I get home, I immediately began to make a Christmas star, or rather a lighthouse, which looks like a star. Now another task is to put it right on top of my giant Christmas tree. I made some gold blocks and decided to test what this beacon would look like when I activated it, and it's really very beautiful. And now let's climb on the Christmas tree and put it on the very top. Well, it looks great. My Christmas tree is completely finished, and now I can go on my last journey, slay the dragon. I made the Eye of the End and went to look for the Fortress of the End. This is what a Christmas tree looks like from the height of an ordinary person. And now I'm going to make an Eye of the Edge, and it's time to look for a portal. Wish me luck, friends. Activate the portal and start our final battle with the dragon. Just look how beautiful it is here. Now, I've never seen this world look like this. Okay, it's time to start. Let's break all the crystals as quickly as possible and kill the dragon. I still have things to do in this world, and I have to do everything before the 100th day. I want to find New Year's elytras and make Christmas shulkers. Well, the Ender Dragon is almost defeated, but I didn't hit him with the last arrow and I don't have any more. So I'll have to finish him off with a sword, wait until he lands and strike the final blow. A cavalcade. I was hoping to hit it with fireworks. It would have been very cool, but I didn't, so I'll just finish it off with a sword. Yes, friends, we did it. The dragon is defeated. Take the dragon egg and go look for the shulker's house. I ran out of blocks, so I had to throw pearls right from here, thank goodness. I was lucky and got to the right place. Well, I spawned right next to the shulker castle, kill them quickly, collect their shells and collect all the valuable resources, then take the elytras and go home. We don't have much time left. Search. Oh yes, finally friends, it's over. We're coming home on new elytras, celebrating Christmas and setting off fireworks. I feel so happy. Thank you for watching my video, friends. I'm at home. I decided to fly a little in the new elytras and set off fireworks because this is our penultimate night before Christmas. Now I'm going to make Christmas shulker boxes, improve and decorate my house. And of course, just before Christmas, I decided to fall off the tree and lose my immortality totem. Thank God I had it, otherwise it would have been the hardest fail in the history of survival. To die just before Christmas, just a nightmare. Well, friends, Merry Christmas to all. Thank you for watching how I survived 100 days in this beautiful world of winter and cold. I hope I conveyed the Christmas mood to you. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and like. This is very important for my channel. I dream of gaining 1,000 subscribers before Christmas, but it will only come out with your help, and I stay warming by this fireplace, throwing wood there so that it does not go out until the morning. Thank you for being with me, and see you in the new video.